My name is Julie Smith-Galvin. I am the chair of the Wakefield Town Council, and I am joined today by my fellow councilors, Ed Dombrowski, Jonathan Chines, Ann Danahy, Ann Santos, and I bring regrets from Maureen Butt and Peter May, and also Steve Mayo, our town administrator, is here. And it is my great honor to welcome you to this rainy afternoon from the town council and the town staff. On behalf of all of us, I am so happy that we can gather here for the first ever, what I hope is very many more, raisings of the Juneteenth flag. Others will explain its full significance, but really my message is one of extreme pride that we are doing this for the first day ever. I just wanted to say that honestly, I didn't even really know what Juneteenth was until a couple of years ago. And I say this, which is a bit embarrassing, but I think we all need to be not afraid to admit that we have so much to learn from each other. And I very much thank the Human Rights Commission for giving us this opportunity to celebrate this moment in Black history that continues to shape America, as well as the ongoing power of community, family, art, and tradition of today's Black Americans that have faced so much oppression, but so much hope as well. And so I welcome you and thank you for being here. I'd like to introduce Suzy Veilleux, the chair of the Wakefield School Committee.
Good afternoon or good evening. My name is Suzy Veilleux. I'm here on behalf of the school committee. I'm joined by a fellow committee member, Stephen Ingalls. About 2 weeks ago, I stood up here at the raising of the Pride flag and talked about the role that our schools play in supporting all of our students, regardless of their race, sexual identity, economic background, or learning differences. In support of that goal, my message today continues to assert that the schools need to continue to support all students and to educate students about our differences and the history of slavery, racism, and the need to focus on equity for all. The Juneteenth holiday, falling on June 19th annually, commemorates the day in 1865 when the last slaves held in Galveston, Texas, learned of their freedom 2 years after President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation. As we learn more specifics of our past, it becomes part of our history. There's a lot of work we need to do in teaching and learning around what we need to do to help people feel like they belong and they are represented in our curriculum. On behalf of the Wakefield School Committee, thank you for coming tonight and for raising the flag, the Juneteenth flag. Next, we're going to... Go ahead and pause. I can pause. Next, we're going to hear the reading of a poem from Michelle La Poetica.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you feeling besides a little wet? Great. So just a quick temperature check. When I say feel good, I need you guys to say feel great. Feel good? Feel good? This is important because today is a beautiful day. Today is a day where we mark unity in this town. Today is a day if we stand in front of a city building and we witness what unity it looked like and what we can continue doing and working towards in this current climate that we're in. I stand before you as a woman that could be categorized as Black. I could be categorized as Latina. I could be categorized as Dominican. I could be categorized as a lot of things, but human is probably the best category that we could use right now because we need to come together. And I have a son who's paler than most pale faces in the crowd, with lighter eyes than most of you, and I have a son that's darker than most of you. And my father is dark-skinned and my mother is light-skinned. They're both Dominican. And I thought to myself, if my son was to speak of his life and himself, how would he speak? And he would probably come before you and say, I have one father, one grandfather, dark enough to be a slave, and another dark enough, white enough to be a slave master. And here I stand before you as society's beautiful disaster. Without knowing who I am or whose I am, can you tell me what I am without making a mistake? The same liberties that I was born with are the same ones that many would be willing to take just because the color of my skin and not the content of my character. We have the opportunity now to go much farther than ever before. Many roads traveled have brought us to this point, but we must acknowledge that there's many roads to travel still as one. There are many forces out there at work trying to tell us that this cannot happen, that we cannot stand together in unity and harmony, but here we stand in defiance of all of that. Officers in blue standing next to people with hue, and it's love, and it's harmony, and it's peace. I thank all of you for coming here today in celebration of who I am in so many parts, and so many parts of who all of us are, because if the one drop rule was real, honey, we'd all be black. So if you take a moment and look besides all that, if I ask you what kind of food you like, what your favorite color is, where you come from, who you were born from, all answers would be different. But if I ask everybody that stands here on this rainy afternoon, how many of you have felt pain? Raise your hand, please. And that right there be the common denominator, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that we've all felt pain, endured it, and somehow survived it because we stand here breathing today. That should be what brings us together from here moving forward. And as a representative of this Juneteenth celebration, I thank you again humbly and ask you to continue this work. This work doesn't stop here today with this flag raising. There's many more towns that still need to come to this point. And there's many more towns out there that need the awareness, the education. Our babies need awareness and education and love and understanding. So let's take this moment to make a promise and a commitment to ourselves, to this township, to the leaders of this town, that we will all work together to bring forth the harmony that we ever so need and desire. Do you think we can do that? Yes? And I stand here today before you as a human being that has felt pain and survived it. All other things are of no consequence. They should not be. And I ask you to think that before you think thoughts that have been programmed into your head with the intention to separate and divide. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to come here and give a little bit of love and light on this dark, gloomy, rainy day. But it's a day that even though the clouds are filling the sky, is full of light because we stand here together as one. So thank you again.
All right, welcome everybody. My name is Nicole Jacob, and I'm a member of the North Shore Juneteenth Association and the Wakefield Human Rights Commission. And with me today is Tarae Howell, who is also a member of the Finance Committee. And we both would like to thank everyone for being here today. I would like to thank our town of Wakefield and our local officials for being present today. I'd also like to extend a warm greeting to our guest, Nicole McLean, the founder of the North Shore Juneteenth Association. Today, as we raise our flag, we bring honor and awareness to African American freedom and culture. This holiday, which is recognized in more than 40 states, including Massachusetts, commemorates the 2 years delayed notice of freedom given to enslaved black men, women, and children, which occurred over 150 years ago. We raise the flag in recognition of June 19, 1865. This flag represents hope and resilience and how far we have come. The flag, created by Ben Haith in 1997, depicts a bursting new star on the horizon. The star represents a new freedom and a new hope for the future. The red, white, and blue colors are used to show enslaved African Americans and their descendants are a part of America and its proud American history.
As we raise the flag today in recognition of this Juneteenth holiday, we should pause to remember the history that gave rise to it. On June 19, 1865, General Gordon Granger rode into Galveston, Texas, and announced General Order No. 3, which states, "The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with the proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former master and slaves, and the connection herefore existing between them becomes that between employer and hired labor. The freedmen are advised to remain quietly at their present homes and work for wages, and they are informed that they will not be allowed to collect at military posts and that they will not be supported in idleness either there or elsewhere." While the order was critical to expanding freedom to enslaved people, the language that was used in the last sentence foreshadowed that the fight for equal rights as citizens would continue far into the future. I must add that before this, slave owners in Mississippi, Louisiana, and other points east have been migrating to Texas in an effort to escape the reach of the Union Army. In a hurried reenactment of the original Middle Passage, more than 150,000 enslaved people made the trek west with their slave masters. As we pause to reflect on this important point in American history, let's acknowledge the resilience of the people who endured the horrors of American slavery. We must remember that freedom was not merely given to these people, but that it was actually fought for and earned by them. Indeed, resistance was every step of the journey, for they were not slaves, but enslaved people. So their humanity gave rise to a constant effort to obtain freedom and equality. And recent events show that those efforts continue to this day by their very descendants. On behalf of Nicole and I thank the town for taking this important step in recognizing the Juneteenth holiday and raising the Juneteenth flag today. Thank you.
And now we'll hear Lift Every Voice and Sing by Kidosha as we come and raise the flag, as the Lynn Classical ROTC raises the flag.
Good afternoon. Honored to be with you guys here and to share the gift of song, which is deep-rooted in our Black history and legacy. Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling seas. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Oh, sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun, as the day begun, let us march on till victory is won. Let us march on till victory is won.
Thank you, everybody. And as you know, Juneteenth is this Saturday, so hopefully you'll find some other events that you can attend to celebrate with other communities. Thank you, and have a good night.